How is baby Elizabeth? Um, sorry. Give me a second. I'm sitting here
Marketing
laughing.
managers, your design bottleneck just killed another campaign.
Sitting here laughing at myself. An ad just came up. You don't know why I'm laughing at myself? Because I find myself to be an endless source of my own amusement. Not a bad thing. Means I'm seldom ever bored. I'm going to bring up Course in Miracles online version. I'm going to read what I wrote. I got a couple things to read. I got to find my shoes too. They are muddy. Ish. So what should I do? Should I read what I wrote first or read from A Course in Miracles first? Let me know. Hey, Ellie. The watch is not on yet. I'm working on it though. Got to get the shoes on first. I could walk out of the house without the watch and I'll be okay. I cannot walk out without my shoes and be okay. Cat says hey to Sandy. Ellie says hi. Hey, Falcon. Good morning, my friend. Snippet says Grand Risings, Eric and all. Grand Risings to you. Sandy says sorry I haven't been on in a couple days. I need to take care of my mental health. I can understand that, Sandy. Never any need to apologize. The course first. All right, you got it. We're trying to hide. You can't hide these traps. Marlon, who are you kidding? Hey, Lee. Lee, I'm good. Lee, how are you? All right, 2 lessons from A Course in Miracles. I don't know if I'll read both out loud. Sorry. Marlon accusing me of hiding my traps. That's like saying, can you hide Mount Rushmore? Can you hide the Rocky Mountains? Can you hide the Himalayas? Can you hide the giant redwoods of California? You can't hide these traps. What I need to hide is my beard because it's doing all kinds of funky stuff. Might be time for a trimming. Of course, I always butcher it when I try to trim something. So, lesson 121. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. More important than that, maybe not more important than that, we can liken happiness, true happiness, which is unconditional. We all know the happiness of a new relationship, and then we all know the unhappiness of the ending of such a relationship. We know the happiness of getting that new car that we've dreamed of and how it's going to change our lives. We're finally going to get some recognition. People are going to notice me because of my beard. And then the new car gets a scratch, or we wreck it, or the shinier new car comes along in a year or two. Same with the job, same with whatever. There's nothing wrong with that happiness. But when we think it's going to change anything, that's when we run into problems. Hey, Long John. Hey, Amanda. Let's see. Sorry. Hey, Anna. Well, it says, like your beard. All right, where was I? Here is the answer to your search for peace. Here is the key to meaning in a world that seems to make no sense. Here is the way to safety and apparent dangers that appear to threaten you at every turn and bring uncertainty to all your hopes of ever finding quietness and peace. Here are all the questions answered. Here, the end of all uncertainty ensured at last. The unforgiving mind is full of fear and offers love no room to be itself, no place where it can spread its wings in peace and soar above the turmoil of the world. The unforgiving mind is sad, without the hope of respite and release from pain. It suffers and abides in misery, peering about in darkness, seeing not, yet certain of the danger lurking there. The unforgiving mind is torn with doubt, confused about itself and all it sees, afraid and angry, weak and blustering, afraid to go ahead, afraid to stay, afraid to waken or to go into sleep, afraid of every sound, yet more afraid of stillness, terrified of darkness, yet more terrified at the approach of light. What can the unforgiving mind perceive but its damnation? What can it behold except a proof that all of its sins are real? The unforgiving mind sees no mistakes but only sins. It looks upon the world with sightless eyes and shrieks as it beholds its own projections rising to attack its miserable parody of life. It wants to live, yet wishes it were dead. It wants to forgive, yet sees no hope. It wants to escape, yet can conceive of none because it sees sinfulness everywhere. The unforgiving mind is in despair without the prospect of a future which can offer anything but more despair. Yet it regards its judgments of the world as irreversible and does not see that it has condemned itself to this despair. It thinks it cannot change, for what it sees bears witness that its judgment is correct. It does not ask because it thinks it knows. It does not question because it's certain that it's right. I want to unpack something here. The unforgiving mind is in despair without the prospect of a future which can offer anything but more despair. It regards its judgment of the world as irreversible. This is what we talk about when we say we think that we can't end starvation or homelessness, or that people are just inherently bad. There's always going to be war, there's always going to be crime, there's always going to be this, there's always going to be that. This is our judgment that we've cast upon the world. This is our own secret, hidden guilt that we have projected outwards. And what are we guilty of? We're actually guilty of nothing. We believe that we are guilty of being separate from the source. If you want to call it the source God, go ahead. If you want to call it the universe, go ahead. If you think you're separate from the world, separate from each other, and separate from the universe, you are going to have a world in which is fearful, divisive, me against them, and everyone's a them, forgetting that we are a them to someone else. The unforgiving mind never questions because it's certain that it's right. Now, I want to interject real quick that here, forgiveness, we're not bargaining with forgiveness. We're not saying, I forgive you for what you've done to me, or I'm not forgiving. This is when people throw in the big question. So you're saying we should forgive Hitler? Yes, but not saying, hey, it's okay that you caused one of the most giant loss of life ever. We're not saying that. We're saying that I see how deeply, deeply, deeply buried the essence of your humanity is. I know how separate you must feel, because to a certain degree, I felt that myself. I have felt separate and alone. Only knowing way out is to lash out, hoping that's something that you can grab hold of. I see that even you have a buried light within. And although we never excuse what has happened, and yes, there will be consequences for what has happened, I can perform those consequences without casting you out. Does that make sense? So, when we go through life unforgiving, meaning that you've done this, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, we have a mind that is continuously making wrong choices. Let me go to lesson 122, and then I will read what I wrote. But let me jump in real quick. Sorry, guys. Hey, Nino. Cypress says, oh, is Buddha here? Hey, Buddha. Good morning to you, my friend. Got some Buddha love. Hey, Mike. Sorry I didn't see you come in. I didn't see a whole bunch of people come in. What you assume to be true is what you get to be true. Your assumptions or beliefs, expectations create your reality. So choose positive ones. Wisely stated. Buddha, I hope you're having a good morning, my friend. Simple says that's the biggest assumption, being separate from existence. And the amazing thing, how sitting here with one shoe on, one shoe off, how can we be separate from that which we are? It's still dark outside for me. But it doesn't have to be dark. I just like doing it at night or early in the morning. If you go out and you put your hands up to the sky, reaching for the stars, reaching for the moon, reaching for distant galaxies, notice, is there any point where your hands leave off and the night sky begins? Is there a gap? Is there a hands and then a gap of nothingness and then the universe? Or is there a continuous flow of you to the universe and from the universe back down to you? That's who you are. Can't be described. Really don't know what happened to my beard overnight. I just woke up and decided, hey, let's go for the hobo look today. Long just says if you want to call it a higher power, go ahead. Don't need to be specific. Exactly. Then and they, always the name of the enemy. Yes, exactly. Rumi, the great Sufi poet, says, I, me, he, she, they, them. These are not terms used in the Garden of the Mystics. Hey, Frank. He says, impatience and impulsiveness, not a good combination. Yes, but don't make it a thing. Hey, Tandra. I get the hint. I get the hint from you, Tandra. I have a beard trimmer that I bought very specifically after a early morning live stream with you. And I should probably break it out. The weird thing, it was fine last night. And then all of a sudden, like 17 hairs decided to leap out and say, hey, look at me, look at me. This is what we're talking about. The beard was perfectly uniform, believing itself to be, a single force of hairiness emerging from my face. And then all of a sudden, individual hairs decided to say, hey, look at me. I'm a separate beard all on my own. See that? The reason why I did this, the reason my beard looks like this, it's a metaphor. It's a spiritual metaphor. I'm teaching a very important lesson. I hope you guys appreciate that I showed up with this mess on my face just for you. Do I expect a thank you from you guys? Yes. I expect a thank you. Anytime now, guys. Showing up like this. All right, watch time. Ellie says, we're not allowed coffee, tea, soda, spicy food, citrus fruit, chocolate, peppermint, onions, garlic. Intestinal issues. I don't make resolutions anymore, Nino. I occasionally enter an intent. Do I have a guest Friday at 6 p.m. today? I don't. I think Adam's coming up this afternoon. And then we'll coast in Sunday. I have Miss Blipper tomorrow. I have a guest tomorrow evening who is another long-term practitioner of A Course in Miracles. I think you guys are really going to like him. He is old school. Dove Fishman. I got to send him a message. Then we got people Tuesday and Friday, and who knows? Hey, Jamie. Oh, because of the meds you're on. Gotcha. Long John says, just got an ad watching. Yogi. Good stuff. Thank you, Long John. I appreciate you guys watching the ads. Did you want to come up this evening, Lee? Thank you, Ellie. Funk says I didn't notice until you said. Oh, my beard. Hey, Commander Turkey. How are you, my friend? Alpha Turkey. Yes, you can definitely read a poem, Lee. But I don't like much food, and I can't have the foods I like. I'm sorry, Ellie. Ellie, how long does this have to? How long will this last? Hey, Lee. Remember, if you think it's easier, um, many people come up and they don't show their face. By the way, speaking of people coming up, what the heck with Coco? Where did that voice come from? That was, man, wow. Holy cow. Oh, it says for a while. Hey, I wonder if you can reframe it, Ellie, that this is an opportunity to learn to like different foods. That's what I had to do when I became a vegan. From says, everyone hurts. Sometimes. Everybody hurts sometimes. You're absolutely right. Longden says, no Diddy, but like a snack, even in the morning. Not sure I ever said no Diddy on my live stream before. Ellie says, maybe I could try that. Yep, the key is try it. Don't have a big plate of something you don't like. Try something small, of something you've never thought about before, and introducing it and see how you like it. First time for everything, absolutely. Marlon says, laughing, very true. All right. So that sounded kind of depressing. Forgiveness is the key to happiness, and yet it told me all about the unforgiving mind. Lesson 122, and I love this lesson. It changed my life. Because I went from seeking to just realizing everything I need is right here. And that's lesson 122. Forgiveness offers everything I want. What could you want forgiveness cannot give? Do you want peace? Forgiveness offers it. Do you want happiness, a quiet mind, a certainty of purpose, and a sense of worth and beauty that transcends time? Do you want care and safety and the warmth of shore protection always? Do you want a quietness that cannot be disturbed, a gentleness that can never be hurt, a deep, abiding comfort, and a rest so perfect it can never be upset? All this forgiveness offers you and more. It sparkles on your eyes as you awake and gives you joy with which to meet the day. It soothes your forehead while you sleep and rests upon your eyelids so that you see no dreams of fear and evil, malice, and attack. But when you wake again, it offers you another day of happiness and peace. All of this forgiveness offers you and more. Forgiveness lets the veil be lifted up that hides the face of Christ from those who look with unforgiving eyes upon the world. It lets you recognize the Son of God and clears your memory of all dead thoughts so that remembrance of your Father can arise across the threshold of your mind. What would you want forgiveness cannot give? What gifts are those are worthy to be sought? What fancied values, trivial effects, or transient promises never to be kept can hold more hope than what forgiveness brings? Again, here, forgiveness. We're talking about a Zen-like activity. Zen is a very strict practice. Zen meditation, in its strictest sense, you are sitting in front of a wall, preferably a white wall. Your eyes aren't closed, but they're slightly hooded. And you are following the breath, usually the belly, watching the belly rise, watching the belly fall. Thoughts arise, thoughts fall. You make no attempt to clear the mind, you just keep coming back to the breath. You are told not to move. In the old days, you'd be hit with a Zen stick. The Zen master would go up and down with his stick. He would know if your mind was wandering, whack. Anyway, this is a gentle Zen practice. Zen is returning to original mind. before the baggage, before the judgment, before the biases, before the assumptions, before any of that was projected outwards. It's still there, it's still present. And forgiveness is simply saying, I have projected all of this. I have judged. I have cast my biases out. It has landed upon you. And I would prefer to see you in your original sinlessness so that it is reflected back to me, so I can see my own original innocence. Can you lead me back to the garden? That's forgiveness. And it's there. And what do you have to forgive? Everything. If you are still seeing a world, I'm not talking about specifics, if you are still seeing a world, you still have things to forgive, because the world is your projection. If there is one person still starving, if there is one person still without a home, if there is one crook, criminal, deceitful person, then we forgive, continuously so. But the wonderful thing about forgiveness, it's a peaceful, happy, joyful practice. It means I would rather see you in reality than hold you in illusions. And it sets you free. If you can forgive everything, meaning whatever happens, you can choose to see that in spite of those actions, there was a sinless originality of innocence residing within everyone. All right, before we close up, I'll read what I wrote. Hey, Fred. Fred, how are you? One more month in this year. Yep. Well, a month and some days. Hey, Left Show. What do we have 2 minutes of silence for, my friend? Hey, Tiger King. Thank you, Fred. Fred always comes in asking for people to like up, share. That's much appreciated. He says, Tiger King, I come up later and read a poem. It's one I think you may like because you study drama. Awesome. Looking forward, Lee. Did I miss anything? Good morning, Daniel. Sniper says, someone say hi to Tiger King for me, please. Tiger King, Sniper says hi. I would urge you not to block or ignore those that might be a challenge for you. It's those challenges that bring you the greatest sense of love when you embrace it, when you notice it. Fred says, thank you, my friends. Long says, 2026 will be a best year for this crew. Believe that. Thank you, Long John. I do believe it. Get a job, old soul. Well, as a soul, I don't need a job, right? Left Show says, Tiger King, a moderator says hello to you. Praveen, my friend, welcome back. Long just says, I also study drama in a course called Life. Some serious lessons sometimes, doesn't it? Anna says, I believe it, Long John. Tiger King says, can you tell Sniper, leave me alone, feeling a lot happy since blocked him, Eric? That's not real happiness. If your happiness is dependent upon blocking someone, what happens if someone else comes along? I don't want to seem like I'm telling you what to do. I'd rather you be completely, truly happy than have those conditional, I'm happy when I don't see someone, I'm unhappy when I do. It's not really happiness then, is it? It's Remembrance Sunday. Yep, I think is tomorrow or Tuesday is Veterans Day here. My dad was in the tail end of World War II. He was on a minesweep. Imagine a very shy um, 17-year-old from the backwoods in Pennsylvania. I mean, way back. And it's still backwoods. There's only one stoplight in the entire county. His father was a forest ranger, often away from home. Both his parents were much, much older than him. My grandfather was born in 1883. My father was born in 1927. He left high school early with permission, joined the Navy. No one had any idea how long the war was going to be going on for, and he figured he was going to be drafted in the Army. Um, and he wanted to have a little bit of a choice in the matter, so he signed up in the Navy. And he was put on a minesweep in the South Pacific right when Japan had not surrendered, but there were hints that for them the war was over, so they were going to go out with a kamikaze mission, taking out as many people as possible before the bomb was dropped, and that changed everything. But imagine being that shy 17-year-old. Again, he had not seen any part of the world whatsoever except for the immediacy of the county that he was born in. Nothing but woods, mountains, um, and finding yourself in that position. There were so many people like my father back then. Hey, Jose, read the book The Great Controversy by Ellen G. White to know the future. No need to know the future. Pavine says 17 years old. Yes. I had several uncles in the army, and they were there. Speaking of liberation, they helped liberate um, the some of the worst concentration camps. What they saw, they never ever talked about. Longjan says, indeed, Yogi, and also just another commercial. That means progress. Awesome. Thank you. Fred says, oh, I met a girl today. What is 97,000 miles away? 9,700 miles away in Kenya. I shouldn't have to go that far to meet a woman. We meet who we meet when we are meant to meet them. Yes, Left Show said that's really not a healthy way to live your life. The ignorance of ignoring another, that's only saying hi. I agree, my friend. Tandra says, thinking of the fallen and those who survived. Thank you, Tandra. Prayers. We all have a connection in some way. Hey, chillin'. How are you, my friend? Levine says, how are you, Yogi, sir? I'm good. Hey, let me read what I wrote real quick. It's related to what we were talking about, and it is called Awaken. And I chased enlightenment for many years. So many spiritual practices, deep states of meditation, plant medicines, and every promise from those who offered me an awakening. Yet I continuously put off the most obvious. Forgiveness truly does offer everything I want. This is instant Zen, original innocence restored within a moment, and it's always available, a daily encounter with my hidden Christ nature. It's not that I didn't know this, but it was the depth of my grievances and guilt that I found surprising. This is a practice of seeing every illusion as an opportunity for the light of reality to shine through. So it's the entire world that needs to be forgiven. As long as there's a projection from my most hidden depth, there's a need for my forgiveness. And through this practice, with every encounter, I awaken. So I thought there was a secret meditation technique. I thought there was a secret yoga pose, a certain breath. that there was a Tibetan Buddhist practice, a tantric yogic practice, that there was a practice through Kabbalah, that there was a Zen technique, whatever. I have sat at the feet of gurus. I visited a yogic saint. I have read tons of books on yoga, tons of books on awakening and enlightenment. All of them were worthwhile. Everything served a purpose. Everything was cool. But it was never ever going to bring me that which I wanted. Enlightenment isn't distant. Awakening isn't a promise. It is here right now. And that which keeps us from awakening. Imagine this. When you are awake, when you awaken from a dream, aren't you already present? Do you have to make an effort? Do you awaken to something that isn't there? Or do you awaken to everything that already is? It's the same with spiritual awakening. What you are searching for is already present. But it's the search itself that keeps you from realizing it. It's the carrot dangled from a stick, and we chase it. And we think, if I only get this, if I only get this secret teaching, one more practice, one more day of meditation, one more whatever. Dogen, the great Zen master, said meditation is awakening. Meditation is enlightenment. Just the act of sitting and allowing what is present, returning to the mantra, returning to the breath. That's enlightenment. You don't need to chase it. That's forgiveness. Forgiveness is saying, yes, this is a projection of my mind. It's not real, though. You are not really anything that I've projected upon you. You're not a story. You are someone who is lost in your own dream. And I'm not a story. I am someone who is lost in my own dream. And we can never meet because our dreams are butting up against each other, insisting that only my dream is correct and your dream is wrong. And of course, we make tons of mistakes within the dream because we think it's the only way to go. Forgiveness says, I see the light of Christ within you. Forgiveness says, there is a Buddha within you that has been hidden from my view. And when I find it, when I see it, I discover myself right here where it's always been. That's how we awaken. Your life right now is how you awaken. You're a hidden squirrel sniper on some live stream. Squirrel sniper being metaphorical. Whoever you've hidden your own awakening. You've hidden your own enlightenment. And until you unhide, and I'm not saying you need to do that non-metaphorically, I'm saying look for the people that you've hidden from your inner vision, from your heart. Therein lies your treasure. You want your treasure? You want your true happiness? It's right here in front of you, right now. But you got to claim it. And you have to do so fearlessly. Fearlessly doesn't mean that you're not afraid. It says, I recognize the fear. I recognize what a drastic step this is. And yet, I'm tired of being unhappy. I'm tired of this false sense of happiness that is so fragile that if someone appears on a screen, I lose it. I want something deeper. I want reality. I want love. All right. That's it for this morning. We're going to get ready to go and let me catch up with you guys. Anna says, no need to chase. What you are searching for is already present. Oops. My computer screen is dancing around in front of me. Sorry, guys, I missed the message. The book, The Great Controversies by Ellen G. White, gives you info on the past. Don't need to know it. The present, already there. And the future, it'll come when it comes. But thanks for the suggestion. Zipper says, it's okay, left show. He has blocked me and unblocked and blocked again. It's rocky road, sailing for some, it seems. King Charles. I don't know if I've ever said King Charles yet. It's hard to wrap my mind around. He's been in the wings for so long, right? Welcome back, Praveen. Praveen, you've been missed, my friend. Seba says, good Praveen, daughter's dance exam this morning. She'll pass it, I know, no doubt. Truth is, Tiger King, no one ever does anything. What do we got? Check out Carl's live stream, everyone. Well, that's an unexpected live stream. Hey, Kamari, how are you, my friend? Nice to see you. Live Show says, Tiger King, you're right. I don't know you or anyone, but all I observe is a great chat room with no trolls like every other stream I've been on this morning. How come there are no trolls, Tiger King? Joel says, first time here? Well, welcome. I appreciate you being here. Tiger King, gates. Mindful of the gates, my friend. Air the grievances and then move on. Don't wallow in them. Don't keep putting them out there. Gates. Praveen says, with blessings of you, Yogi, sir, Auntie Sniper, sir, Anna, ma'am, and all too. All rituals done successfully. Happy to hear that, Praveen. Kat says, don't copy and paste your grievances and air them over and over again. Agreed. The wisdom of Kat. You notice Kat has had nothing to say about my beard? Actually, it looks better all of a sudden, like it decided to settle down. Joe says, no trolls, that's a blessing. We get some on occasion. Generally, just ask people to ignore them. Fuel for the fire. As Ram Dass said, grist for the mill. Tiger King says, Gates, don't worry about snipers, Gates. Worry about your gates. Your gates. Not snipers, not anyone else's. Sniper is your spiritual practice. He's your guru. He's your teacher. If you don't like your guru, learn the lesson. And then they quit showing up. Or they show up in a different form. All of a sudden, you realize, wow, Sniper's been a really good person all along. Just wanted me to awaken. Longdon says, off topic, why do some people get enamored by an individual of the opposite sex when they have had few encounters with them and no gauge to judge their character? Man, that's a good question. You might have just asked us to explain the great mystery of life. I wish I knew. Well, you know what? We could sum it up. Let me bring this up real quick. That's a good question. Thank you. And you know what? It's actually very much on topic. Let me go. This is my lesson through my work in A Course in Miracles. I'm on lesson 79. I finished 365 lessons, decided to dive back in, not take a break. Lesson 79 says, let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. This is why we do anything. Everything that seems like a problem, recognize it. And here's what happens. There's only one problem. One problem that manifests in many, many different forms. The one problem is our sense of separation from the source, from the universe, from each other, from love, from God. All terms synonymous with another. We become enamored because we think that they hold something that we need. We think they have the answer. to one of our specific problems, not realizing there are no specific problems. There is just that problem of separation. And when we recognize that, then everything becomes a possibility to solve that problem. Everything, including the person that we're enamored with, including the person that we are hiding, including the person that knows how to push our every single button, including the person that we love above all others. All of us become our lesson. All of it. We are the lesson for someone else. Go out in the world and be your completely rotten self so that others may learn from you. There you go. Or go out in the world and choose to be a forgiving force of kindness. Whatever comes into your life, be kind. Cast no one out. On the level of the mind. Don't confuse levels. Course is very specific. Levels of confusion. The level of the body, do what you need to do to protect yourself, to be safe, to be comfortable. But realize on the level of the mind, of which all reality stems from, you can cast no one out. Accept, forgive, love. There you go. This is my thoughts, Long John. Hey, Tiger King, do not hide any comments. You are not that moderator, my friend. Hey, Mustafa. Hello, man. How are you, brother? I'm good, my friend. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you, Left Shell. Tiger King, why would you hide that comment? Mustafa says, I see the books behind you. I bet you've read all of them, haven't you? I have not, but I've probably read about 90%. Some of them are textbooks. Some of them are, like there's a big book, The Complete Book of Running, The Lore of Running, which is that big book that you see on the top shelf. It's not like a book that you pick up and, that's okay, Tiger King. I got you. I understand. I understand. Not a problem. Thank you, Praveen. So it's a reference book. So some of the books are references. Some are books that are actually pretty, have some pretty obscure teachings that sort of written in a language that are hard to read. So you sort of dive in, read a little bit there, a little bit here. So about 90% of them I've read. Some actually I haven't read yet. I find them. I've had a book a few times that I've owned for 20 years. For whatever reason, I pick it up to read and it just doesn't hold an interest. I put it aside. And then I find it when I need it the most and I think, where's this book been? Why haven't I read this 20 years ago? It told me exactly what I needed. The reason is I wasn't ready for it. Then I was. But yeah, about 90% maybe. Tiger King says our date is the 11th as well. But we got to do it the closest to the 11th on the nearest Sunday. Gotcha. So we're going to wrap things up in just a minute. Long John says, well, never heard it put like that before, but definitely hit. Thanks, Yogi. You're welcome. I could never in a million years repeat what I said. Joe says, that's right. I believe that. Mustafa says, did you know that I own a book that I inherited from my grandfather? And it's 600 years old? Wow. You had a really old grandfather. I was offered large sums of money to sell it, but I refused. I can understand that. I have some books that are pretty old too, but not like that. Not like you have. Like I have a copy of Huckleberry Finn that my mom was given for Christmas in 1941, and she loved it. Huckleberry Finn. She read it to all of her cousins, her younger cousins. She read it to me when I was a kid, and they gave it to me, and then I read it. I have books that was given to my father in the 30s books that belong to a great uncle. That's awesome. True, Sniper. Oh, things that come to you when they're supposed to. Yes. So, and it's not for us to, um, it's not for us to go out and search for them. They come to us, right? When the time is right. Hey, Prajat, my friend, how are you? Everyone does not have to get on with everyone, but I just want to come on here and chill. If you want to chat, people do not have to. I agree. But you spend an inordinate amount of time explaining why you don't want to chat to someone, which is basically chatting with someone through the modality of someone else. So it doesn't really bring you peace of mind, does it? You spend a lot of time explaining why you don't want to talk to Sniper. And people go back and forth relaying messages for you. Please tell Sniper. Do you know what I mean? Just doesn't seem worth it, Tiger King. When you could just let go, you can just have one big sigh. We can do the physiological sigh together and just let it go. Everything we talked today was about forgiveness in its truest sense, in which saying that imagine if you saw Sniper for the first time ever right now. Imagine that. Where would you be? You would have no grievances, no resentment, no judgment. It would be a great big, hey, my friend, nice to meet you again for the very first time. Mustafa says, you look very tired. If you're uncomfortable, your health requires you to rest for at least a short time. I'm doing okay. Tired? No. Sleepy? It's almost 6 in the morning. I've been up almost for 4 hours coming up. I have done my breath work. I've done my coursework. I've meditated. I've done my first round of yoga asanas. Made some coffee. I got in my writing. I led someone before I did the live stream through a sleep hygiene practice. We did some yoga nidra to help them sleep. So it was a face-to-face call. And I sat and basked in the lovely voice of my beloved Cat and Jack. And I came here and chatted with you guys. And we're going to go out and take a walk. Praveen says, Yogi sir is very punctual. I am punctual, if not slightly late, almost all the time. It means I'm going to be here, but I might be a minute or two late. Yeah, it's been a pretty productive morning. This is my everyday. Every single day. Cat is laughing. Well, there you go. Cat laughed. Now my day's complete. Now, if I wanted to, I could go back to bed. Cat says hi, Tandra. Tandra says hi to Cat. Guys, we had some great singers last night. We had some great singers. Coco came out of the box swinging. What an awesome voice. Big Al closed out the show with a lovely version of We Could Be Heroes. And he wasn't feeling good. But he came up because everyone was just so kind to him. Tandra, there was such a lovely and tender quality to your voice in that song. You made it your own. If someone said that this was an original song by Tandra, I would have believed it because you made it your own. It was lovely. I appreciate everyone last night who came up and sang. Even me. We had original music from Phil Manifester. Toy Pups came up. Always rocks the house. Um, and right off the bat, we had some singing. Dolly came up. And Elvis up the place. Yes, I just made Elvis a verb. Elvis should be a verb. Was there a more dynamic performer in his time than Elvis Presley? Or still? I'm thinking 3 right off the bat. Elvis, Michael Jackson. I'm going for 4. Prince, Mick Jagger, James Brown, 5. Tina Turner, 6. Hey, Josh, my friend. Kat says Coco. Coco was awesome. You're welcome, Tundra. Thank you, Perjat. Thank you. Hey, speaking of mods, there's no reason why a Perjat should not be modded up. He's been coming and hanging out with us for a while. I apologize, my friend, that it took me so long. Josh said, you summoned me? Yep, it's time for you to clean up the basement. Get a job. Buy your own Wendy's. Expecting me to drag myself down in the basement 3 times a day and feed you Wendy's? Joe says, it's really nice that I found you, Yogi, sir. Thank you so much. I'm glad that we found each other. Mustafa says, I feel extremely depressed and sad because 2 years ago, I lost my triplets in a car accident. Wow. On the highway, and I can't get over it. It's affecting my health very significantly. Mustafa, what if you didn't have to get over it? What if you didn't have to get over it? We put ourselves, Amy, we put ourselves in this position where we think something happened and now I have to get over it so I can carry on in my life. As if we can ever mend that part of our heart that has been shattered. You don't have to mend yourself. Your brokenness provides space for their love to be always present. Now, that doesn't mean that we wallow in that brokenness. It means now in that brokenness, we approach life with that infinite love that we offer for others. We know the depth of suffering. And our mission now is to recognize it and help alleviate it when we see it in the world. That's a significant loss, and you never get over a significant loss. But you realize that you can repurpose it. That now that loss of 3 can become the love that's offered to everyone. That's the whole nature of Tantra, is taking that raw energy, that energy of loss, that energy of grief, and repurposing it. So that now we give it, and we give it, and we give it. No one is removed from our love. There are people out there who had suffered as greatly as you, and every one of those sufferings are personal. And every one of those people feel lost within that grief. But you can offer them some light. You can shine some light, and you can let them know, I feel your pain. I've experienced your pain. And I will hold you and love you through that pain. Take that same love, turn it on yourself. Joshua says, is love a feeling or an action? All of the above. Thank you, Left Show. I was about to speak, and Left Show just, bam, brought that message home. Love is everything. And Course in Miracles. Now, love and God are synonymous. In A Course in Miracles, it says, we say love is, and then we fall silent. Because anything that we say afterwards is a description of a description. It's a map and not the territory. It's a menu and not the meal. Man, left show, you're so on point, my friend. Oh yeah, The Doors, Jim Morrison for sure, mesmerizing performer. Jim Morrison was a shaman. You know who else was a shaman? Jerry Garcia. Little Richard, very dynamic. But who loves who more? Can you take it out and measure it? Nope, you cannot. No one can ever love anyone more or any less than another. However, we can have varying degrees of affection, but affection isn't love. Affection is a attribute of love, and it's a wonderful thing. I think the Greeks really very nicely, uh, and our friend Sissy offers it. But she is not here this morning. I hope she's well. Quick says, I had a feeling once. It was a terrible experience. It's always best to lie down and allow it to pass. Funny guy says, today's an important day. Today is the original Hawk's birthday is today, Lou Ferrigno. It is an important day for Lou Ferrigno, who I happen to be a fan of. He was someone I looked up to way back in the 1970s when I first started bodybuilding. He was no Arnold Schwarzenegger, though. Arnold and Franco were Dave Draper. Remember, I'm old, guys. Left show, are you a yogi too? No doubt, he is. Another band, and you might not realize, Fleetwood Mac. They were shamans. Go watch 1976. You can YouTube it. Fleetwood Mac on the Midnight Special. Stevie Nicks singing Rihanna. And it is a shamanistic experience. You will watch that. It's about 6 minutes. And you're moved to another reality. A little whiskey, a lot of weed. There you go. Jimmy says, what's this channel about? Basically, people throwing out subjects for me to ramble on about at length until I realize that I'm rambling on. And then they throw out another topic and we do it again and repeat. It's about people trying to confuse me. Doing a very good job of it. Sepper says it's a safer space on YouTube. Thank you, Sepper. Thank you for help making it so. Project says, yes, I know about them. Long John says, when our bones break down in microfractures in many of our bones to only calcify, becoming harder, consider all nerves and pain. It's now extremely dull. So then our internal feelings only matter to us. Isn't it selfish without action? Well, no one denied that action stems from that. But imagine if all action stemmed from a place of unconditional love versus an egoic stance of what's in it for me. I love you for the sake of you loving me. What action stems from that? That can easily switch, because now what if they no longer love us? Now we have to say, I no longer love you because you no longer love me. Now not only have we become conditional, we have become controlled. What you do affects me. But imagine if all my actions stemmed from not anything that was needed from you. I do not allow my animals to fight each other. But since you threw Rob Reiner in the mix, that changes everything. Hippos are, you know what? Hippos are considered some of the most dangerous animals in all of Africa. You do not want to get between a hippo and water. They're very insecure. All right, I gotta go. I'm gonna go with a hippo. Can you not show love to someone you hate or do not love? You can't show love to someone you hate because uh, hate is a block to the awareness of love. Love is ever present. Only love is real. And what is real can't be threatened. Imagine the depth of your security if you truly, truly knew that. What if we run plum out of F's to give? I live in a world of unlimited plums. I live in an orchard of plums. And it says unconditional love. Jimmy says Rob Reiner meets the Princess Bride. He did. He did. It was an awesome movie. He also made Harry Met Sally, right? And it says only love is real. Freddie Mercury too. Amy Winehouse. But I don't think Amy Winehouse, I don't even think Freddie Mercury, who's a wonderful voice, on the level of mesmerizing in their performance, for me, I know it's different for you. It grossed 30.9 million, and it was probably made for such a fraction of that. Bob Dylan, for sure. But as far as like, you can't take your eyes off of him. That's what I'm talking about. When Elvis came out, imagine 1950s, Robert Plant, yes. Oh, you know what? The entirety of The Hill. Visual, and I'm talking here more visually. You know, again, imagine 1950s, Eisenhower era. Everything was very still and bland, with the exception of jazz, by the way. And all of a sudden, Elvis came out. Black leather, hips swiveling, to the point where they couldn't even show him on TV from the hips down. Now imagine The Who. Roger Daltrey swinging his microphone, huge arcs. Pete Townsend smashing his guitar, strumming his guitar, full arm strum. Keith Moon drumming like he had 17 arms. John Entwistle not moving, not even affected by it all. Same with the Stones. Watching Mick Jagger. So, about loving your enemies. When you love, you have no enemies. You don't have to think about loving your enemies, because when you love, you have no enemies. Longer says, reason I was talking about bone micro, where'd that go? I was just about to read it. Oh, disappeared. No wonder. Yeah, I read that before, I think, Tiger King. Thank you, Left Show, for that silence. All right, I got to go. CCR, awesome band. Parajat says, correct, when you love, you have no enemies. He did say that, Joshua. But when you love your enemies, you realize you have no enemies. That's the whole secret formula there. Bye, Praveen. Guys, I'm late. I'm very late. We got the sun coming up in just a little bit. I got miles ahead of me. I'll be back. 1 o'clock. Proud Mary, keep on burning. Both CCR and Tina Turner. Bye, Tandra. Bye, Tiger King. Only reason I was talking about bone microfractures is because I feel like we suffer microfractures in life, yet we recover and become harder and stronger, just like our bones. Absolutely. 100%. It's an apt metaphor, Long John, and thank you for that. All right. come on by, hang out with us at 1 o'clock. I think Adam's coming up. And he has some subjects that he wants to broach. I love conversations with Adam. Just keep going back and forth. Great guest coming up this week. Frank Zappa. Saw Frank Zappa in concert. Did an awesome version of Whipping Post by the Allman Brothers. That's a song I don't think should be covered by anyone, and yet Zappa did it. It was pretty powerful. See you, Marlon. Longner says, thanks, Yogi. Hopefully see you later today. I hope so. See you, guys. Love you.